Hello everybody, Hudson Sanders here with Sanders Home Brewing, and today we are going to be tasting honey. Alright everybody, with that intro out of the way, I just wanted to take a second to tell you that California and the West Coast is on fire. Literally hundreds of thousands of acres have been burned. Buildings have been burned. You know, people are out of their homes and stuff like that. And it's, you know, quite a tragedy. California does have a fire season, and fires burn quite frequently here, but these are the largest fires in recent California history, if not California recorded history. And I'm really concerned about our honeybees. With, you know, these fires burning, you know, I don't want, you know, bees to be burnt out and have their hives impacted in such a horrible way. So I'm really hoping that, you know, honeybees pull through, because we can rebuild buildings. You know, infrastructure can be rebuilt, but honeybees, you know, having, you know, they're such a niche animal, a niche insect, and they're really finicky. So I just really hope that, you know, the honeybees pull through, and so that we can continue to enjoy these, you know, really nice products. These honeys I actually got from Bill's Bees in California. I'd never tried any of their products before, but we have 5 different honeys here. We have a buckwheat honey, avocado honey, which I'm really interested to try, orange blossom honey, orange blossom honey, sage honey, which was the very first type of honey I ever tried, and we got some wildflower honey right here, which, you know, these two over here are the darker honeys, and then this one is kind of like your store-bought honey that is more of a go-to, and these are lighter honeys, which when we make mead, like a fruit mead or something like that, we want to use the lighter honeys, especially orange, wildflower, and sage, because they're less, they have less prominent flavors, and they'll let some of the fruits, and if you're doing like a braggot, they'll let the grain shine and stuff like that. So I have them all spread out here with the toothpicks. So I want to try the darkers and then go into the, actually let's start with the lights and then go into the darks, because the darks have more prominent flavors. So I'm going to be starting with the wildflower honey here. I'm going to be taking the toothpick and just kind of like swirling it around. Now this one is kind of like a regular honey that you would get at the store. It's got kind of like a nice golden straw color to it. Really bright. Yeah, bright and like candy, like I don't want to say caramel, but it's almost like if somebody had not caramelized the sugar like all the way, and it's just really kind of like fruity and bright. Really nice. Wildflower honey. I like that one a lot. So this is kind of like I said before, comparable to like a store-bought honey. Some water to cleanse the palate. This is sage honey, which is going to be the next one. It's the lightest one out of the 5. I was really allergic to sage when I was a kid, and so my dad, I don't know if this worked or not, but my dad, he just bought me a bunch of sage honey, and he would put it in, you know, my coffee or any tea that he gave me. He would put it in cereal, and he thought that that would kind of like cure me of my allergy to sage, which I don't think it worked, but I love you, Dad. All right, so this one really kind of see-through. It's almost like syrup, like Caro syrup almost. Really interesting color. More herbaceous. It's less bright than the wildflower. It's more like, I don't want to say salty, but it's got a like a salinity to it that's really nice. It kind of grounds it. This is a really grounded, light colored honey. I would put this in tea because the flavor's not very pronounced, and it just kind of adds like a nice little sweetness to the tongue there. That's really nice. I like that one. Might use this for braggots. Let the grain shine through. Alright, the next thing that we got is our orange flower honey. This, I think, is the most common type of honey. I think these two are the most common types of honey in California, the orange and the wildflower. And that's just because you can take your bees and put them, you know, in a field, and they'll just pollinate the flowers there, bring the pollen back, and create their honey. And then there's a bunch of orange groves in California. California oranges. So that might be the number one kind of orchard that they would put their bee boxes in. So kind of similar in color to the sage honey, but it's a little darker, just slightly darker. But if you put them right next to each other, you can see that this has a more dense golden color to it. Yeah, more like a really light straw. Yeah, really similar to the wildflower in brightness, but you do get that kind of citric quality to it. It's just a note on the very end of it, almost like, you know, like in a cocktail where somebody will spritz your drink with orange oil. So it's kind of like what I'm getting from this. This is really, really good. All three of these would go good in tea, coffee, cereal, stuff like that. Really nice. Okay, moving on to the darker honeys, and these are the ones that I'm really, really interested in. Avocado honey, I've never tried before. I didn't even know they made it, which in theory you can because avocado trees blossom, but I've never heard of it before. I'm super excited. And buckwheat honey, which I've never tried before, but I'm interested in as well. Obviously the buckwheat being darker than the avocado. Actually, let's open this up and give it a smell. This is the avocado honey. Wow. That is, yeah, it kind of does, it kind of smells like the skins of an avocado, if you know what that smells like. Like if you ever cut one open and just kind of spooned out avocado and smelled the inside of the skin, that's what this smells like. But it's got that sweetness in there. So let's get a dollop of it. This is like brown sugar syrup right here. That's what this looks like. Really dark, golden, almost like an amber ale color. So, oh wow. That's like buttery, rich. Let's get another taste. Oh, super buttery. Almost like a molasses flavor in there too. This would be really nice for bouchées. Bouché means like caramelized honey used to make mead. This would be really nice for a bouché, or I'm thinking like a spiced mead, like a metheglin. This would be really, really nice for that because the sweetness, it's like so dense with that kind of like molasses character to it. And the chai, cinnamon, nutmeg flavors would go really, really well with that. I might actually try to make that into a bland, which is like a whey from milk and honey mead. It was a big Viking recipe back in like the 13 to the 1700s, early 1800s. Just cleansing the palate there for probably the darkest honey that I have here, which is the buckwheat honey from Bill's Bees. I haven't even smelled this, so let's open it up and give it a little smell. Kind of spicy on the nose a little bit. It's kind of weird to call a honey spicy. You don't really get a lot of like sugary character on the nose there. It's more just kind of like rye almost. It kind of smells like rye. So let's give it a taste. It's super thick. Thicker than any of the other honeys. and it's darker. Not much darker than the avocado, but it's pretty dark. This is like amber right here. Like what you would imagine like a mosquito to be stuck in, like a fossil. Alright, let's give it a taste. Super viscous and whoa! Bright, tangy, smoky, spicy. What is going on there? This is really interesting and nice. It's very sweet. There's no molasses character at all, even though these are very similar in color. This is more molasses, and this is more kind of like caramelized honey is what it tastes like to me. So maybe I would go with this one for like a traditional traditional spice mead. So these two right here, spiced meads, maybe a bochet out of this one. This one, I think I would like to try it out because I think I might get more smoky, spicy flavors if I tried to turn this into a bochet. I would have to really consider this. I've made a banana wine, a banana mead before, and this avocado honey might go really well with it because that molasses character, it's almost rum-like. So making the banana mead with this instead of just kind of like regular orange flower honey, which is what I did it with, or any of the lighter honeys, this one right here for sure. I'm interested to use this one. I just don't know what I'm going to use it for yet, if I do use it at all. But this was a really interesting kind of tasting here. I've never had these two before. It's been a while since I've had sage, and I didn't really know the difference between the wildflower and the orange. But now you can definitely tell these are all honey, but coming from different, plants, different flowers. There's different tastes to them. So if you're getting into making mead, or if you just want to buy a honey that is, good for your tastes, definitely recommend watching this video and sharing it with anybody that you know who loves honey or is a honey lover and who loves bees. So thank you very much for joining me. That's actually the end of this video. I'm going to do an update on the braggot here in a couple of days, if not, maybe tomorrow. I did do what's called a dry hop, which I took hops and I put them in a little bag and I stuck them into the mead, and so it's just kind of sitting there. And then I'll kind of give an update on everything else that I'm doing. So thank you very much for joining me. If you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.